Hi, Tony.
Hey,
Uh,
Lynn. I'm here with Lynn Bell, and we're here with Astrology University talking about Lynn Bell's upcoming webinar on Saturn square Neptune aspects. So thanks for joining us, Lynn. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to present in the webinar?
well, I'd really like to go into some depth about how the Saturn-Neptune square is going to work in individual charts. And to understand this, I've been thinking a lot about how human beings generate dreams, how they generate ideas, dreams. Sometimes we live our life by running after something that ends up not at all being attainable, but it's gotten us moving. It's moves us. We're our whole spirit leaps out and moves after something that we'd like to catch hold of, almost like a cat chasing a butterfly. You know? And there's a certain moment when we realize that whatever it is we've been moving towards isn't there anymore. Either we've attained it on some level, or realized that it's not possible, or moved way beyond it. And whenever Saturn and Neptune come into a relationship, one of the things that happens is we're actually letting go. If we keep looking for that thing that used to move us forward, we something's missing. We get a bit lost, a bit confused. And so what's actually happening is there's a feeling of something being missing. And of course, I don't want to downplay the fact that sometimes this is a very real loss in our lives, that we've worked really hard to accomplish something, and that thing, we can feel it like sand running through our fingers. And at the same time, it's actually time to almost breathe life into a new dream, a little bit like blowing soap bubbles the way we did as a child. And so one of the things I'd like to look at in the webinar is the way that what we do is which of the dreams have gotten to their sell-by date, right?
Right.
They're no longer viable, right? You're like, oh, I've been keeping this, this just isn't gonna, it's like the carpet you put in the basement and forget about it and then end up putting out on the street. It's not going to fly you anywhere anymore. It's done. It's gone.
Right.
And so it's almost in a way sorting through those things that will still open up our vision, still bring us somewhere, and at the same time come back to what generates those dreams in the first place, which is always within us.
Yeah, that sounds. I can't wait to hear the webinar. That sounds great. But so you said you were going to maybe talk about the houses a little bit. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, because depending on where Neptune and Saturn are in your own chart, of course the squares between Sagittarius and Pisces. So someone might have, let's say if someone has Sagittarius on the midheaven, they're going to have Saturn in the 10th, and then Neptune could be very near the ascendant, for example. And there's this feeling, one of the feelings could be that you've worked very, very, very hard to attain something professionally. And because sometimes Saturn in the 10th is you're peaking, you've reached a goal. And then you're working so hard you don't know who you are. And there's this, wait, the person who wanted to reach this, who is he? Where is he? And so there's a moment where something works in another way. Or it can be that the dream is still viable, because there are visions running our life that are viable and that are bearing fruit also under the Saturn-Neptune transit. And so the Pisces energy will then be that you're stepping into this idea of who you've always wanted to be, right? That's if you get the absolute best, if the vision you have is still supporting who you are meant to be on the deepest inner level. And you can go through all the houses in that way and look at the Saturn-Neptune combination. And of course, this is going to be much more precise for anyone who has planets between 7 and 13 degrees of mutable signs, because they'll be getting an exact square of Saturn. They'll either have had or will be getting that exact square.
Right, right. I'm sure they're they're excited to hear the webinar as well. They're probably
Yes.
wondering what's going on about right now. So yeah, great. Thank you. So the webinar, folks, will be on April 16th at astrologyuniversity.com. We'll have those details coming up soon. We've got a little placeholder right now. If you are quick with your typing and you head over there right now, you'll find the placeholder, but we'll have registration up soon. But Lynn, you'll also be coming to the States soon. So you'll be here in May. I know you're going to be in Portland in May, May 21st to 22nd. And then you'll be going to Seattle the next weekend for NORWAC, which will be great. And that's, for folks who don't know, that's the Northwest Astrology Conference. And that'll be in Seattle the 27th to the 29th. But then the next weekend you'll be in Toronto. Do you know what you'll be presenting in Toronto?
In Toronto, I'm doing a day on solar returns and a day on family patterns. Michael Barwick, who's organizing, asked me specifically to do the topics of my 2 books. Great. And I've never taught in Toronto before, so I'm really excited to be going there. And I'm going to give a talk on Saturn Neptune on the Friday night too. So, and our understanding of Saturn square Neptune is changing all the time as we immerse ourselves in it. So I'm sure there'll be new things to say.
Yeah, and I hear that's a great group to present to, so I think you'll have a good time. Well, thanks for spending a few minutes with us, Lynn, to tell us about the webinar, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
It's always a pleasure, Tony.
Okay, take care.
Bye.